この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
A tale as old as time. Murder, most foul.
Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for ReZero episode 6, and indeed we are dealing with a murder most foul, and it turns out we are the victim, which is probably the best circumstance because now we're going to know when they're going to strike, who they're going to strike, where they're going to strike, and everything that we need to close this case. We just have to avoid actually getting killed by the murderer. And then we're going to have to figure out how to unveil whoever it is and convince everybody that we have some information that's going to definitely guarantee that this person is going to be murdering somebody in this castle. And we don't even know if we're the primary goal, we being Subaru. Is this murderer actually here for him, or is he just collateral damage as part of a more important assassination attempt? You know, against a would-be king, queen of this country like Amelia, which adds more wrinkles to the desire that Subaru has expressed to protect her and his growing bonds with everybody in this manor house, some of them a little bit more intimate than he would have wanted, and some of them just friendships that seem to be blossoming as he spends time amongst these people and learns their ways, and has had now 2 week lifetimes of opportunity to learn them. He begins to embark upon his third, now knowing that this isn't just a fluke, that he was indeed slain that night by something he didn't even see. Horrifying, terrible, also awesome, and a really cool trope. I think the idea of somebody who comes back in some form and solves their own murder mystery it's a really cool trope, whether it's like notes from beyond the grave from a person who was figuring out that they were definitely going to be murdered, or one of my favorite episodes of one of my favorite shows, Dollhouse, a show, it's got a couple of seasons, Joss Whedon, really cool show. They can swap brains out of people and stuff. But a lady thought she was gonna get murdered, so she had her brain copied so that she could be reawoken after her death and go figure out who murdered her, which is so cool. However you play it, whatever manifestation it takes, I think the trope or theme or idea or motif of solving your own murder is really cool because there's nobody more connected to the person dying than you, the person themselves. Nobody more emotionally embroiled in their circumstance and possibly, likely to overlook people who they love and care about, who they'd think they'd never, when a more discerning detective might be a little more suspicious. I don't know if any of that stuff is going to come into play with Subaru's murder. It seems like it can't be any of the characters that we know. Usually in a murder mystery, it's really important that the murderer or the thief or the criminal or whatever is somebody who's been introduced beforehand. If you don't know who they are, then you're just grasping at straws for who it could be. And you want to be able to throw suspicion around on the people that you know. That's how Clue works. That's how most murder mysteries work. You usually want, in a murder mystery show or novel or something, you want to meet the character who's actually responsible for things pretty early on, and through some nefarious scheming on the author's part, not be suspicious of them. If that were the case, then the only suspects that would show up would be Ram. Sorry if you can't tell the difference between me saying Rem and Ram. I often can't tell which one I'm trying to talk about, so it'll all work out in the wash. If I have to just refer to them as blue one and red one, I might do that. I tried to think of a mnemonic. I'm actually going to remember them now because I tried really hard to figure out a mnemonic and was very sad to find out that Rem is blue and not red, because Rem being red would have been really useful. So now, having figured out that mnemonic, I'm just using the reverse of the mnemonic. So Rem is not red, so she's blue. Anyway, Rem and Ram could be killers, murderous maids. I mean, it could work. There was some funky stuff going on with Ram and Lord of the Manor guy, whose name just escaped my brain. I had it in my brain, and now it's gone. Lord of the Manor guy could be killing Subaru. It's possible. I don't think it's happening. Certainly, I don't think either of them would be angling to kill Amelia. Amelia could kill Subaru. Yeah, no, not a shot, right? It's just not it. Rem could try to kill Subaru. I don't think so. Maybe she's got a secret and she's actually a werewolf. Like a total monster underneath the demure exterior. I don't think so. Betty, the whatever the hell that Betty is. I still don't know what Betty is, and I'd like to know what Betty is here to protect books. Doesn't seem like she'd be here to kill Subaru. So I have nothing, and so I'm going to surmise that this is a third party, not yet introduced, unknown to us, which sucks for a murder mystery, but makes sense in a complicated, politically embroiled world where people are going to send assassins after you, and you're not going to know who they are. If my premise is correct, and this is a political assassination, if it's something else, if it's something weirder, then it's something weirder, and I'll have no idea what it could be. I'm gonna do a sketch. This is way too far out, except this could be here, and that would work. These are really complicated outfits, both to draw and just, like, I imagine to put on. They've got so many pieces. That'll do. They look cute. They look pretty cute. And weirdly conjoined. So, with our screen guarded over by sister waifus, new hit show, we embark into another life, another chance. And now we gotta face down our own inevitable impending death and try to stop it. This episode does not have custom subs, so we're just using the sidechair version. And I'm ready to go if you are. I've got episode 6 of ReZero up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down, and early access on the Patreon as always. Beep beep timer. What reaction is that going to get from the girls? Yeah. You're back? They're going to think you're crazy. Oh. Oh. Oh, hey. Reasonable. You know what? Just kill me. Just kill me again. Just kill me. We'll restart this. The fuck? You know what? You gotta start strong. First impression, night terrors and freaking the fuck out and mumbling about weird shit. Second impression, it adds so much. Gets my spine tingly. I don't know. Rosewall. I don't think it was physical weakness. Maybe poison. That's my question. Yeah, I think so. Oh! How are you both moving and spinning? How is she both moving and spinning? Or were we walking in circles around? Oh, okay. But then that didn't make sense with the ceiling. Okay. Twice? This being the second time. Kashira. That's what they've changed to the, I suppose. Do you want to find out? Hmm. Oh. Be nice to Betty. Gotta start strong. Tan? No, it counts, man. just just get to fall in love with her every day, huh? Brutal. Oh, you're not even gonna get to give him the scritchies. Because you're all covered in dirt. Effective. Puck is the best. Except in full size. Not good. The little delay. Aww, they get along so well. Yay! Sue. Just plays with the bit. Awesome. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. And the moon is so bright. It's diminutive. But we're not that close. Hmm. That's gonna really suck. Aww. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Yeah, that was maximum good response. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I suck. Okay, to the dinner table again for the conversation again. Here we go again. Uh-huh. Yeah, but how do you even... Maybe to Betty. Yeah, we didn't see anything. I wonder if they're invisible. Same wish? Oh. Jerk. Everybody looks at her for yawning? So he gets out of all of his duties so that he can spend more time doing stuff. You gotta fix it up. Yeah, you're gonna be disconnected. You're not one of them now. Uh-uh. Welcome to the empty house. He is the spookiest person here. Is it? Roswell's chains misleading. So if we notice the chains during getting murdered... Oh. Yeah, you don't get no truth from them if you act this way. Nope, you are a guest here. This is a mistake, man. Especially if he doesn't die. Love you too, Betty. Hmm. Shamans. Jujutsu-shi. Gusteco. Poison? Hue? Oh. Ah. But she wouldn't tell us that if she was responsible. No. You need a ladder, Betty. I'm not gonna thank you. Bubby? Not even Roswell. Who's Bubby? Oh, the, cat. What? You... Maybe she was. Ah. So it was you. Out. Too averse to the truth. You know what? Just kill me. Just kill me. I'll start this whole trip over again. I'll just repeat. Yeah, you have to treat each one as though it could not happen anymore. Indeed. Yeah, you're just taking. Shoulda worked. Got you a much better inn. Oh, is she poisoning you? No. She looks really tiny. Become the new Aesop. The what? That just had an impact on her. The red Oni? Sisters, maybe? Well, we're pulling way out. But the blue Oni? Leave me behind. Whoa, what weird impact does that have on these sisters? And the red ogre cried. This is the best scene in the show so far. This is the best scene in this show so far. Huh. Masking on your own, huh? No, he gained. Fast in there. Break off your horns. Oh, that's a crucial save point. Save point, save point, save point, save point! Quick save! Quick save. Both routes. Aww, threesome. Aww, yeah, but... Nailed it. Nailed it. It's got meaning. It's got deeper meaning. Which? Interesting. But its contract is unfulfilled. That's super interesting. Ooh, okay, I wonder... Well, she's the blue ogre, and she's the loser of the story, isn't she? Taking all of the self-sacrifice onto herself? We know her name. We know her name. I wonder if that's who's killing us. Oh, he's leaving. But then if you leave and don't die, whatever happens here happens. Oh, oh, she's being so cute. I'd rather be sleeping with you. What? Hey? Figured. Pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. We're just gonna get out of here safe and sound, huh? Get murdered along the way? Alright, now we're waiting for the shoe to drop, right? 3 minutes for the shoe to drop. Wham! No? Or is this going to be off alone in the unknown? Or is he going to try to hide out and watch? Okay. So he's still in the way. Oh, wow. Stole the knife. Oh. No. Too much to live for. Finally, he's alone. Hmm. Oh, what the fuck? Ooh, he's got a rope attached to him. Smart. Big fucking chain. Yeah, it's coming after you, man. Oof. Oof. Ah, shit. The red ogre? Or the blue ogre? Oh, God. The blue! What the fuck? So all that mysterious shit, it really was Rem? Wild. Hold on, wild. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's so cool. And with the mysterious conversation that we have, the uh the Higurashi vibes continue. The Higurashi no Nakakura ni vibes absolutely continue throughout that conversation with Ram. Oh, that felt so good. What a cool reveal. It's been her the whole time. So, and she killed us regardless, and she's not the one communicating with Roswell, so the reasons are totally unknown. And she killed us when we befriended her, and she killed us when we didn't. Why? To protect this house? Doesn't even seem reasonable because he was gonna leave. It's gotta be something else. It's gotta be something more sinister and more serious. Red Ogre, Blue Ogre, a story about self-sacrifice that's just keyed to the characters, right? Just keyed to them. And we've got this setup of these two sisters, one of whom is praised and praises herself all the time, and the other who is always down on herself and her self-esteem while showing unnerving competence. The Blue Ogre who takes the fall so that the Red Ogre can befriend the humans. And what she says is that what the Red Ogre should have done was tear off his horns and go be friends with the humans. Should have done that until the Blue Ogre could no longer bear to watch. I don't know. We're gonna go through the story time sequence again. I really think it's the best scene in the show so far. From the delivery of Subaru's voice actor to the continuously shifting framing that pulls like way out. I feel like pulls way out as our characters connect and disconnect from the story or try to disconnect from it, and then pulls way in as she gets sucked in kind of against her will. And then way into the isolated bits. Mirrors, reflections, the little twitches of something unknown that's going on behind the scenes that Subaru doesn't realize that he's poking at in metaphor. But we realize it, of course. We know there's something being poked at in metaphor. And she's scared. Whoa, what an intense sequence. This episode does the best so far of melding cute fun with intense and scary. This is the episode that best blends them. And I think it should be. I think that makes sense, right? Because we get this sort of goofiness in the episode, and then we're going to do the reveal that one of these characters that we've been coming to know and gathering a bit of a fondness for, right? It's it's not really palpable until the moments when Subaru is getting rejected by the two maids. That's when I feel that feeling of like, oh, I was growing fond of these characters, and it hurts to not have that reciprocated. And that's going to be ongoing throughout this as Subaru forms friendships that disappear as he dies, right? Absolutely as rough as could be. Similarly, difficulties in getting information from people or, cozying up to people who you need to get closer to if they aren't going to remember you at all. There are some serious moments. And I mean, literally serious moments. This dives right into his pure goofiness, and it's like over the top. But it's also heartfelt, isn't it? This whole scene is so freaking good. It's so freaking good. Okay, let's skim the parts leading up to it to see if I notice anything that I didn't before. I don't think so. Them clutching each other is super cute. Reminds me of that, obviously. Makes me very happy. His introduction of self is ridiculous, but you gotta start strong. And then we are figuring it out. So how does this work? So he's walking around in circles, right? That's what he has to be doing. But he's walking straight on the tiles, right? And then we look up, and he's walking straight across this with her rotating around. It's not like the ceiling is built in a circle, and it's not like the tiles are built in a circle. So my brain, it doesn't make any sense. Because what's going on in this scene is that he's walking down a straight hallway, and she's sitting next to him, going at the same speed as him, rotating. Just floating there. Oh, it's so weird. So weird. She is the one who healed him and a powerful magic user. I think her disdain for him has grown on me a little bit. It's kind of cute. And her insight into him has grown as well. Calmed down enough to mask your fear is right on the money. Put your walls up, and he shudders a little bit. Yeah, you're the bug. This is super cute and ends up being super goofy, and she's got a silver lining for every cloud and a goofy fun time for every moment. And her overwhelmed laughter is like, that's the protect. That's the one. That's the protect right there. And so we have to reintroduce the protect, and it comes in a goofy fun time, and that's gonna smash up right against the tension into terror that we get in the second half of the episode. And that's that blend that I'm looking for, and it works. It really works. Contrast is one thing, a wide spread of different emotions is another thing, being able to orchestrate them right next to each other so you feel them at odds with each other. So it feels like the thing that threatens you threatens the thing that gives you those positive emotions. That it feels like this is the world that could be, and this is putting a stop to it. There's an enemy, there's a threat, there's a problem, there's something in the way. And something worth protecting. Convinces her of the Tan thing, which is pretty great, but makes some choices over the course of this episode that, if he does not die here and restart, are going to have pretty bad repercussions, I think. First of all, he doesn't work here. Instead, his choice is to stay here as a house guest, being lazy and mooching. And it's within their power to grant it, but it's boring and lame. And more importantly, it doesn't get him any closer to the people he actually needs to know. It means that most of his time spent here ends up being mostly a waste, right? He's getting better at writing, he's getting better at reading and understanding things, he's unpacking some stories, but he's not getting closer to Ram. So I think that's a crucial mistake. And it does lead to that feeling of loss here, of disconnect. So sorry to make you do this. Of course, if you'll excuse me, like, we're separated. There's a boundary, a wall between us. When we were working together, we had a chance to get some kind of insight, and it came with that, now that you know what's really going on in their minds and how they think about you, like, oh, this guy is such a drowned rat, son of a bitch, sucker, what a loser, right? And we know for 2 weeks or whatever that that's what they actually think of you. Having them, oh, yes, sir, we'll totally do what you want, yes, sir, oh, yes, sir, is just like, oh, in the back of their minds, they're thinking all that shit about me. They're thinking shit about me. Brutal. Chains. Mysterious chains. A little friendlier? No. No, I refuse to be friendlier to you. Bunch of lore dump from Betty about sorcerers and curses. And shamanic spells that people from Galunica? Gusteco, Lugunica, that have similar effects to his previous death. But now it seems pretty obvious that it's Rem all around and maybe poison. Cute to be getting to know Betty a little bit and finding out that she is powerful. I wondered about this line here. I died 3 times in the capital and survived the 4th time, but that doesn't mean I intend to treat this as a throwaway life. That's why I asked Puck to keep an eye on Amelia for me. I like that. He thinks a little bit like a strategist. Just a little bit. This return by death thing is really uncertain. He can't be sure of his ability to solve any of these problems, and he can't be sure that he'll get another chance, Not only can you not treat this life as throwaway, because it matters. You're going to remember, and as he says later when he's got the knife, and it's crucial for his development, he will remember. And that's something that can reflect back as he looks in his own reflection, can reflect back on us in our daily lives without our return by death. But with our knowledge that I've expressed before, that's not terribly dissimilar from our actual living world, the world that we exist in. Wake up, fall asleep, born again. And one thing that is true across both this story and our real stories is that a lot of people don't know nothing about you, and they're not going to remember you or care about you. There are 8+ billion of us on this planet, and you're going to meet maybe a couple thousand over the course of your life, right? What other people think of you as you go through your daily death and rebirth, lay yourself down to die every night to sleep, wake anew in the morning, what carries over is what you know about yourself, what you remember yourself doing, the actions that you've taken, the things that you've run away from. Those solidify inside of you. They become you. You can't run away from your own truth about who you are and what you do. And I think that, well, a line from my father that I've always found very helpful, or at least powerful. He would ask me what character is. When we talk about a person's character, the quality of your character, what is character? And his answer for it was, character is who you are when you're alone, when nobody's watching you. You're free, you're unobserved, unsupervised. Who are you? What's your character? What are you really when there's no show? For Subaru, he's simultaneously like both more capable and much more afraid and much more honest with his emotions. We've mentioned this before. His masking behavior keeps up a wall while other people are around and then slips when he finds himself alone. He can let it go a little bit. But even then, in that masking and that, or in that openness, I find his thoughts flow more effectively. Like when he's alone going on this sort of self mission, again, he's a little bit strategic. He's thinking it through, and I don't know. Who is Subaru when he's alone? But who are you when you're alone? That's your character. That's what's going to be remembered. For Subaru, remembered between lives, but for us, remembered between days. Built up as a stack of proof of who you are. And that proof can be really, really dark. If you stack up a couple of years of, well, you're alone, so you've got no responsibilities, right? So you might as well do nothing. Or, involve yourself in something that tears you apart. Throw yourself at wasted time or overwhelming pleasures, or whatever it is that doesn't amount to anything. And you wake up the next day and think, well, I'm a person who does useless, stupid things even though I know I shouldn't, and then doesn't amount to anything, and I still haven't amounted to anything. And all of my history says that's what I'm going to do again. And so next time I get the opportunity to be alone and display my true character, that's what I'm going to do. Can you tell that I know this story a little bit personally? Because I know this story a little bit personally. Who you are when you're alone. It spills out the edges. And the more tightly you grasp onto a persona, onto a mask, and try to hold that in front of the people around you, in front of the world, the more the darkness leaks in the background. Being human is hard. It's a wild, wild thing to be a weird, I guess we're intelligent monkey on a big rock with air. Fucking crazy. Tea time! Yay! Wow, you're really studying. And he isn't actually. That's a funny little element to the interaction. Oh, look at you actually studying, not being a loser. And he's like, well, gosh, so rude of you. And he's actually not studying. I'm a guest. No, you're a freeloader. Takes some tea, finds it nasty. This moment where she kicks her legs up, it's just because of the proportions of the whole thing. Like here, she looks like a full person, and here she looks like a full chibi. Full little chibi. Just want to grab her, put her in her pocket. It's like reverse Puck. It's great. I like tiny one. Very cool. I'm also interested in how the morals slightly differ from the ones that I know. More importantly, however, is the insights into our history and folktale stuff. And then the scene breaks, and it breaks when he brings up the red ogre who cried. The scene breaks into something else. It's so distinctly different from everything else in the episode and everything else that we've seen in the show so far. We get a couple of shots of the location, right? Establishing the space. And then suddenly, the red ogre who cried, and she, shock. The word that he uses isn't, it's ogre, but akaoni. Yeah, so that's the red devil, the red oni who cried. I wonder if these two are human. He notices something has shifted, and then our camera begins to change its orientation a little bit. It feels different. Goldenish hue begins to encroach. Want me to tell it to you? And we're shot, reverse shot. Okay, I want to figure out why this is so intense. Because we establish a shot, reverse shot, reverse shot, and then in. At this point, it's the experience of listening to him tell this part of the story is overwhelmed by the realization that the red ogre and the blue ogre are obviously going to have some kind of representative meaning toward Rem and Ram. Okay. So that's the biggest hit here, and the music kicks in. Okay, really ethereal tubes and pipes and stuff. The red ogre wanted to be friends with the people of the village. We pull out to here. She blinks and we pull out. Blink, pull out. Wow, why does that do something to me? I can't even put words to what that does. It's like, we're in a fortune teller's tent, listening to a fortune be told, listening to her fortune be told. She's in the center of it. He's off to the side, draped in these backdrop. Well, I don't know. But he scared the others. Blue Ogre couldn't bear to watch, so he devised a plan. So he made himself the villain. I'll make a ruckus, you come and stop me, and you'll be the hero, and then they'll trust you. And there we fade into seeing herself. You take the fall, and I'll be the trustworthy one. It worked. The Red Ogre befriended the humans. Then we're out here, and what we have is a flock and one bird far away, right? Going different directions. One bird flying toward blue and off into the distance. The group flying toward red. Okay. Yeah. So the Blue Ogre makes himself the enemy and then leaves. And the Red Ogre is left with friends, flying toward some unknown. But as time passed, the Blue Ogre no longer came to visit. Wow, that's super interesting. It's actually hard to notice it when it's happening, but it's really easy to see if I jump 5 seconds. This is our start of the frame. This is the later part of the frame. You see that? Everything lightens. All the shadows become more highlight over these moments, and she's perfectly still, and then jerk. I don't know why the lightning feels important here, right? It should be getting darker as we go, further into the story and later into the night, shouldn't it? Or I guess maybe it's the sun's rays shifting angle. Goes and seeks out the other Oni and finds a message. Please go and have fun with your humans. If I stay, they'll think you're bad, so I'll leave. And her face has grown cold. The Red Ogre cries, but she doesn't. And emblazoned in ethereal light with these wisps of shadow coming off of her, that's a sad story. Yep, but there is a sweetness to it. But she won't take it in, rejects it all. They're all just stupid. All of them. The Blue Ogre, the Red Ogre, and the village people. He's sort of taken aback by that, like, whoa, harsh. But that's why I both love it and hate it. It's that contrast, it's that mix. All of this framing is so interesting. From the scene with her in the center, paying attention to Subaru off in the corner, now her on the edge of the bed, set off to the side, like off to the far right side, looking out the window. The self-sacrifice is admirable, but stupid because it doesn't gain anything, and he wants rewards. Is that what you think of the Blue Ogre? Still, I think it's the Red who's beyond help. Probably indicating herself, for dragging the Blue into their own desires, and causing the Blue to lose everything, when he doesn't lose anything. So it's just regret. It's just regret, like the Red Ogre doesn't get hurt, even gets beloved and praised, but knows what they've done, knows what they've caused to their old friend. I feel like that has some relevance to whatever's going on between these two sisters. He should have broken off his horns and gone to them. Should have done that before the Blue Ogre couldn't bear to watch. Okay, done that before driving his friend to do something else. So I wonder what she did to sacrifice herself. How curious. That's pretty extreme. And she says, which one would you choose? And this is a route choice, bro. The red ogre, who can only wish and be taken care of by others, or the stupid blue ogre who basks in self-sacrifice. He says both. And she rightly calls him indecisive and lecherous for it. Which I think is exactly right. What a foolish answer. I wonder. I wonder so hard. What about our other stories? Well, the dragon one gives us a bunch of information, and the dragon is something important with a contract of some kind. And hey, how about the nope, not talking about witches? Whoa! Interesting. So Satella, not a name that should be said, huh? And don't tell Rem that story. Maybe you should. Honestly, maybe you should tell Rem that story and see if she breaks and tells you something. If you can get the balls to do it after she murders you now. Because she's gonna murder you now. Amelia being all cute and doting on Subaru as he departs is wonderful. I don't know what gift. I guess it's the hush money. And away we go into the wild blue yonder to set up a pretty middling and mediocre trap. Just be here. And everything goes red, kind of implying that it will be Ram who comes and does something bad when she walks out of the forest. But no, instead, in all her glory, wanting to finish without being noticed, it's blue. Is she here just to kill you? Or is this way more complicated than we have any idea of? Wild. What a cool twist. I didn't... The Nakakoro Ni vibes are too strong. They're too strong, and I love this idea of simultaneously being enthralled and interested in these characters and wanting to know what their stories are, and trying to figure out how to get them to not murder you. Very fun. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode of ReZero. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too, and I hope very much to catch you in the next one next week. Thanks for watching. Early access on the Patreon. Peace.